Hi again, this is Dave from Weston Company Diamonds, and today I'm going to be talking about the third C, which is clarity. And again, a quick overview. The 4 C's are the cut, the color, the clarity, and the carat weight of a diamond. So clarity is sometimes referred to, people will say, well, my diamond has a flaw in it. Well, I always felt that that's a little bit harsh in most cases because most inclusions, the vast majority of them, do not affect the beauty and or durability of the diamond. So to call it a flaw is, as I said, kind of hard. I prefer to think of them as fingerprints. They are identifiers. No two are ever going to be alike, and any diamond, there's no possible way to match inclusions. So an inclusion, the definition is it's going to be any irregularity in the crystal structure when the diamond was formed, and it can be a lot of things. It's endless. It can be another crystal. It can be what is referred to as a feather, which is a little break inside the structure. It can be a cloud, which is kind of self-explanatory. It kind of looks like a little cloud, which is made up of a whole ton of little teeny inclusions. And clarity grading is always done under 10 power magnification. Now, I carry around my hand loupe, and that is great for spot grading. However, I'm going to actually show you, I'm going to flip this around here and show you one of my gem scopes. And this is a binocular gem scope with what's called dark field illumination, and when I turn on the light, what this does is this punches up the light from behind the diamond when I'm looking at it, so it's much easier for me to see any inclusions that are in the stone. The other thing that's important to know is this gem scope will zoom up to about 40 power. However, all diamond grading is always done under 10 power. So if it's not visible at 40 power or above, it doesn't count. If you zoom a diamond up far enough, sooner or later you are going to see something. So 10 power is the standard grading. And the scale, I'm going to set this up here. Okay, the scale starts at, I don't know if this is visible, legible here. This is not the greatest camera in the world. Starts at flawless and internally flawless. And what that means is there is nothing visible by a trained grader at 10 power magnification. And the difference between flawless and internally flawless is flawless, there's just nothing anywhere. Internally flawless means that there is nothing on the interior of the stone, but there might be a very slight, almost microscopic little blemish somewhere on the exterior of the stone that was not caused by the cutting. So we're talking about characteristics that are so tiny that it's very easy for a grader to miss them. And generally speaking, I would never call a diamond a flawless or an internally flawless on my own. I would always want to confirm that with another gemologist, at least, if not 2 more, if I could really get away with it. The next is Vvs1 and Vbs2, which is very slightly included. Definition is extremely difficult for a trained grader to see under 10 power magnification. And if we look here, there's just one little mark up here, and that would be hard to see on top of it. And other than that, the diamond would be completely clean of any inclusions at 10 power. The next is Vs1 and Vs2, which is very slightly included. Now it's a little easier to see. The actual definition is somewhat easy for a trained grader to see under 10 power magnification. And then the next is SI1, SI2, slightly included to the 1st or 2nd degree. Now these stones generally are easy for me to spot under 10 power magnification, and it's usually not too hard for my client to see the clarity characteristics, especially if I point them out to them under the gem scope again, under 10 power magnification. And then the final is I1, I2, I3, which is included or imperfect to the first, second, or third degree. Now we are getting into stones that are included enough so that the beauty and possibly the durability of the stone is affected. And so that is the quick overview. Now a few things to keep in mind. Again, most diamonds, certainly from really kind of SI1 and above, is definitely not going to be visible under 10 power to the unaided eye. Some SI2s may be visible, especially if you look at the bottom half or the pavilion of the stone, because that's designed to reflect light. It's not designed to hide inclusions. The pattern of facets in the crown or the top part of the diamond tend to make the inclusions less visible, and that's a good thing. That's part of the reason why they're there. There's many reasons why they're there, but that's just one. And so I also wanted to show you, to give you a sense of what an inclusion maybe can look like. I'm going to flip this guy over and go to what I have up on my screen here. And this diamond is an I1. And what I wanted to point out to you, because it's about the only thing you can really see going through as many, this is more than 10 power. It's actually probably closer to 30 power. But right here, if you follow my cursor, is another diamond crystal that's embedded in this diamond crystal. So at some point a diamond crystal started to grow, and then for whatever reason it stopped, and then at some point later in time, probably, you know, a million years later or something, the conditions became favorable again, and another diamond started to grow and completely encapsulated this. Now this is in the interior of the diamond, but it is visible to the unaided eye. So this diamond is actually what's called an I1 clarity. There's some other characteristics that I can see on my screen right here, and right here, and right here, and right here, and right there. And I don't know if you can see these right there. There's one over here, there's one here, there's one here. That's typical. There's basically two ways that you get to diamond clarity. One is you can have a single inclusion that sets the grade of the stone, or you can have a variety of inclusions that any one of them alone isn't that big or even that noticeable, but because there's numerous ones, it kind of adds up to a clarity grade. Now, clarity grade, like color grading, is a little bit subjective because, again, as you go down the scale, I'm going to put my paper up again and see if I can't line this up for you nicely. As you go down this scale, each grade becomes more inclusive. So it doesn't take much to knock a flawless or an internally flawless into VS. It doesn't take much to knock a VS1 to a VS2, and it doesn't take a heck of a lot to knock a VS2 to a VS1, although it's more than the difference that it would take between here. And then as you go from VS2 to SI1, little broader. If you go from SI1 to SI2, now a little more room. SI2 to I1 is huge. There is a big difference in clarity between an SI2 diamond that is almost an SI1, it's kind of walking the line a little bit, and one that's an I1. So much so that you may hear or read about a clarity grade called SI3, which some laboratories have been using in recent years. The argument being that Si2 is too broad of a category and there really needs to be a third Si, because there's a lot of stones that really get called I1 that aren't really an I1, so they should, but they're not really an Si2 either. I don't recognize that grade. I don't believe in it. I feel that the system as we have it right now is more than adequate to make a fair call for everybody. So that is a little bit about clarity. And again, if you ever have any questions or would like me to expand on this further, just go to our website, www.westandcompany.com, and spell it all out, and go to our contact page and just ask me whatever you'd like. Until next time, thank you very much.